I recently carved out some time to visit the Museum of Arts and Design at Columbus Circle in New York City. They were featuring a Barbie exhibit, and after all the brouhaha over the movie last year, I was curious to see what they had. One of the first things that I encountered was wallpaper inside of the elevator. The wallpaper showed in one of the panels some designs for the original Barbie doll. One of the first panels that we came to talked about Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie. Let me read you some of the things that may be too small for you to see. This is a quote from Ruth Handler. "My whole philosophy of Barbie was that through the doll, the little girl could be anything she wanted to be. Barbie always represented the fact that a woman had choices." Ruth Handler, co-founder of Mattel, saw that her daughter Barbara's toy choices were limited. Barbara could only play out being a mom or caregiver, whereas her son had toys that allowed him to imagine himself as a firefighter, astronaut, doctor, and more. Ruth later observed Barbara playing with paper dolls for hours and recognized the opportunity to champion and inspire girls by introducing a three-dimensional doll that showed them that they could be anything. Ruth wanted to create a doll with adult features so girls could play out their future selves. However, her team saw challenges with molding realistic details on such a small scale. It was not until Ruth traveled to Europe and stumbled on a doll in a Swiss shop that her dream became a reality. She quickly bought the doll and brought it back to the United States. I had shown that Lily doll in my episode about the movie, and I'll put a link in the upper corner for you to go and take a look at that. Did you know Ruth named the doll Barbie after her daughter Barbara Handler and Ken after her son Kenneth Handler? There was a whole entire wall of the original 1959 outfits, and since I had the original 1959 Barbie, I looked carefully to see which of these outfits I owned. This was one of them. They called it the apple print sheath, designed by Charlotte Johnson. I loved this dress, and I'm sure I wanted to have this dress because my mother had a cocktail dress that was very similar, except instead of apples, those were sequins all over her dress. While I didn't have this little orange sweater, I thought it would be of particular interest to my audience because the little book is called How to Knit by Barbie. My cousin Wendy had a lot of Barbies and the Barbie game. She also had the Barbie Dreamhouse. Here it tells us that before women had the right to open their own bank accounts, Barbie bought her first Dreamhouse. Built in 1962, her first home featured mid-century modern decor, a hi-fi stereo, slimline furniture for entertaining, and of course, a closet to store her many outfits. Here I am sitting on a mock-up of the Barbie sofa. The exhibit was organized into different sections. The section on the clothes, the section on the Dreamhouse. The next section was about sewing these tiny little clothes. Creating a Barbie doll requires time, work, and a passion for design. It takes a professional staff of fashion designers, makeup artists, hairstylists, sculptors, graphic and packaging designers, costing engineers, and an entire marketing team, more than 100 people in all, to create a Barbie doll. A team of artists and designers select every detail, choosing from 52 hair colors in a range of textures, 9 body types, and 35 skin tones. Combining these 3 elements creates infinite possibilities to reflect the world we see today. Once designers select a face shape, they hand paint each detail to ensure that every doll is uniquely beautiful and intricate. The painting process typically takes about 3 hours to complete. Next, designers will use a specialized sewing machine and complete a process called rooting. This hour-long process involves extreme attention to detail, where hairstylists hand root each individual strand of hair onto the doll. Fun fact, a Barbie doll's hair is made from the same material as plastic wrap. No wonder her hair is so soft. And you can see some of that hair here. Although only 11.5 inches tall, designing Barbie's wardrobe is no small task. Inspiration can come from the runway, a magazine, streetwear, an exhibit, social media, a piece of fabric, and more. Designers then bring the vision to life with a sketch and select from thousands of fabrics within the on-site textile library. From sketch to fabric selections, each outfit is unique and on trend. With Barbie, the designer's inspiration becomes a work of art for fans to cherish for generations to come. No look is complete without accessories. To complete her ensemble, Barbie's design team shops the Mattel accessory archive, pulling from drawers full of thousands of miniature shoes, hats, jewelry, purses, and more. If they cannot find what they're looking for, Barbie's sculpting department will shape something entirely new for the occasion. The next stage is packaging design. Mattel has a full team of designers dedicated to ensure every box is designed around the final product. With the Barbie prototype in hand, they create a box structure, determine how to secure the doll and accessories, and incorporate graphic design elements to tie the whole piece together. Once the doll and outfits are complete, all design files are sent to manufacturing to continue the development process and create the final product we see on shelves today. Creating a Barbie doll is a collaborative effort, with passionate artists and designers working behind the scenes to make magic happen. I have talked about Pantone colors before on this channel, but you may not have known that the iconic pink Pantone 219C started to become associated with Barbie as she grew in popularity. Here's the Pantone color chip. Sparkling in sequins, superstar Barbie was ready to groove on the disco dance floor. Disco music was made for dancing. It began in glitzy city nightclubs before hits like Staying Alive and Saturday Night Fever took it to the masses. Disco dancers were dressed to boogie, grooving in fluid, flashy get-ups that could move to the beat and shine under the disco ball.
It's like people, some people, we may not necessarily be attracted to everyone, but you should at least be able to recognize like an attractive person.
Totally Hair Barbie is the best-selling Barbie doll in history. She even came with doll styling gel. I'd never seen one of these. It was shocking to me to learn that it was the best-selling Barbie. Numerous famous fashion designers have designed elegant clothes for some special edition Barbies. Here you see Bob Mackie. In 1990, the fashion designer behind the glamorous theatrical costumes worn by Cher and other entertainers became the first to collaborate with Barbie on a special collector doll. Since then, they've created over 50 collectible dolls, including Lady Liberty, Madame du Barbie, and Gold Barbie. Barbie and Bob Mackie continue their collaboration to this day. There was also footage of a fashion show from Moschino showing a whole slew of costumes that were designed for Barbie.